4 apps, 14,000, 35,000, 500,000, and $3 million a month. All of them use the exact same strategy to get their first 100 customers. But how they executed this strategy is what separates the $14,000 a month app from the $3 million a month app. That's not just a 10x or even a 100x difference. That's a 214x difference. So in this video, we'll dive into the exact tactical execution strategy of each of these apps and specific tips to not just get your first 100 customers, but also understand the nuances that made one app 214 times more revenue than the others. So first, what was the strategy all of these apps used to get started?
I partner with influencers to promote my app.
It's influencers. That was the thesis I built.
Influencer marketing is what started us, and it took us really far. We got to about $2 million a month just from influencer marketing.
I started to collaborate with a fairly big influencer from Colombia.
Well, it was influencer marketing. Our first app was built by a 14-year-old, and just 4 months after launching, he had reached $14,000 a month. There were no paid ads, no app store optimization, it was just influencer marketing. So here's how it started. The app was doing around $300 a day when Evan partnered with a creator named Jeremiah Jones. Jeremiah posted one video, and in 24 hours, revenue jumped to $728, then nearly $1,000. And by the time the views settled, that single post had generated around $3,000 in revenue and 1,800 downloads. On Starter Story, Evan broke down exactly how he thinks about influencer marketing.
I partner with influencers to promote my app. Going into this channel, I realized my RPM was around $2 to $3, so I knew I had to close creators at a CPM lower than that. Typically, it would be between the $1 and $1.50 range. The big advantage here is that most influencers already have trust with their audience, and when they recommend an app, it feels way more authentic than a traditional ad.
So the formula is simple. If you know your RPM, the revenue you earn per 1,000 views, you just need to pay a CPM below that number to have net profit. So Evan's RPM was $2 to $3. So as long as his CPM was $1 to $1.50, he was making $1 to $2 in net profit per 1,000 impressions. So he paid Jeremiah $800 and included a 600,000 minimum view clause. Now the video generated 1 million total views across platforms, 1,800 downloads, and $3,000 in revenue. So the effective CPM paid was 80 cents, the effective RPM earned was $3, and the net result was $2,200 in profit. Now, one thing I want to point out here is the minimum view clause. So this protects your downside if the video underperforms.
We pay them something like $800 with a 600,000 minimum view clause, and if they hit the minimum view clause, awesome, they're done, and we can move on to an even bigger deal considering that it converted. But if not, they have the option to post a few more videos, hit that MVC, and still get paid out.
Another tip to include in influencer contracts is requiring them to mention your app in the first 15 seconds.
Right here, he shows the app within the first 15 seconds. That's always something that you should require influencers to do.
Okay, so how did he choose the right influencer? Well, Evan has a 3-step evaluation process. So first, engagement quality. So are the comments authentic, and do the people that are actually commenting match his ICP? And do they seem to genuinely like and trust Jeremiah? You can see from the comments here that the answer is clearly yes. Secondly is content quality. So did the style of content fit his audience? Again, as he's always posting fitness and personal growth tips, the niche was a really good fit. And third is organic fit. So could the app be integrated naturally without feeling like an ad? But one thing that Evan didn't mention is that Jeremiah was also a proven influencer. As in, he had already worked with some of the other apps that we're going to mention later in this video. So if you're just getting started, working with influencers who already have long-term partnerships with other parallel apps can be really useful because you know that those influencers can convert their audience into customers. And there's actually a lookalike feature inside Favicon that makes it super easy to find similar influencers. For example, I put Jeremiah in favicon, and then I also added some additional filters like influencer tiers, and I also wanted to make sure that all of them were based in the US. And you can see that I have a full list of influencers here. So at this point, Evan is still working on scaling up his influencer program. But scaling can be pretty tricky. And later in this video, you'll see how the last two apps overcame this challenge. Now the next app is a personal finance app that reached $35,000 in MRR. But it didn't have the same rapid growth trajectory as Lock. Built by a solo developer in Germany, Flo spent 18 months trying everything to get customers. He was doing social media, app store optimization, Reddit posts, and after all of it, the app was only making $300 a month. Then one influencer from Colombia found the app and reached out. And within 12 months, MonAI crossed $35,000 in MRR with just that one partnership deal. But the deal structure was different from anything that Evan was doing.
We do, of course, have a contract. So now we have a percentage of the profits and a fixed monthly retainer. Since it's profit-based, his payout is mostly profit-based. He's incentivized to actually do what's best for the app. He's like constantly thinking about what to do and how to make the greatest videos.
And the content strategy was the opposite of high volume.
The videos that we post are mostly story-based. That's why also we only post 3 of them, because it takes a long time to create them.
It was just 3 videos a month. That's it. But because the creator actually had skin in the game, each of these videos was really well designed to convert. And to scale the partnership, instead of hiring more influencers, Flo ran meta ads to the influencers' top performing content. So if you want to duplicate Flo's strategy, here's what he recommends. First, warm up the relationship by commenting on some of their posts. And in your outreach message, reference like a specific video rather than sending a very generic pitch. You also want to mention the upside for them, so saying something like other apps in the niche make $50,000 to $100,000 a month with the right distribution. And another pro tip is to send a personalized video with their name in it. Almost nobody does this, so it works really well. But the biggest unlock wasn't the deal structure or the outreach, it was the demographic that he was targeting. Instead of going after US-based creators, he partnered with a Colombian creator. And in Colombia, competition for creator partnerships is much lower, and the cost was a fraction of what US influencers charge. Also, even though Flo's initial content and ads didn't generate a lot of revenue, they at least helped that influencer find his app. So if you're just getting started, posting some content can make your app look at least a little more credible and potentially get the attention of a couple of influencers. But what is it that separates a $35,000 a month app from a $500,000 a month app? Well, that's what we're going to be exploring with Quittr. So Alex Slater is a 19-year-old from London who watched Cal AI blow up and decided to just copy the exact blueprint.
Because I used Cal AI, another app, as an example. I broke down exactly how they make money, exactly how they do the paywall, exactly how they work with influencers, replicated it, and it worked.
So his app, Quittr, helps men break adult content addiction. He started with Reddit, got banned, and then put $3,000 into influencer marketing. And that $3,000 turned into $37,000 in 1 month. From there, they just doubled down on influencer marketing.
To get from 30K to 100K a month, we just scaled operations, just worked with more influencers.
So his deal structure was pretty simple. He offered a $1,000 monthly retainer for 4 videos. And every deal was built around the same CPM formula.
So I think we pay around $2 CPM. Mm-hmm. So for every million views, we pay 2,000.
Okay.
So it's tied to views. So we're like almost always profitable.
Quittr invests in long-term partnerships with influencers. You'll also notice that he worked with proven creators like Jeremiah rather than just guessing which creators would convert. And it worked really well. Here's Alex explaining how much revenue that one video with Jeremiah generated.
Somehow it made 5K, then 10K, then 20K, 30K in that day. 40K, 50K, 60K, kept going up, kept refreshing, 70K, 80.
But he also learned that raw views aren't everything.
We've made like $2,000 off a 40,000 viewed video, and we've made $200 off of a 1.2 million.
1 million. Yeah, it's completely.
So it's really in the engagement and the consumer of who's watching it for that creator.
Now, to further scale this, Alex decided to launch paid ads, And he mentioned that he had a unique first mover advantage.
In December, we launched ads. And because, again, we were first mover advantage, we were the first quitting porn app to run ads on Meta. We had complete penetration, no pun intended. But everyone, we had 7x ROAS.
He also mentioned that while influencer content is volatile, paid ads are a lot steadier.
We can guarantee a 2 or 3x on a Facebook ad, for instance. Maybe we get a 10x from an influencer, but we have a consistent 2, 3x that we can just allocate more budget, reach more audience, and make more money. That's kind of the plan for Facebook ads.
So the answer isn't do ads or do influencer content. Instead, you want to do influencer content to figure out what delivers a 10x return and then purchase the right to run ads to that content. So Quittr hit $500,000 a month. But how did CalAI hit several $1,000,000 a month? When it was sold, it was doing $30 million a year and was also built by an 18-year-old. And the playbook that got them there is the most complete version of everything that the previous 3 founders were doing, plus a few extra things. First, it started the same, DMing hundreds, even thousands of creators.
Most people just don't respond. It took me over 2 weeks to get my first response from an influencer.
And this is where most people give up, but you just have to keep going.
People give up after DMing 100 influencers. You have to DM thousands.
Now, to make this easier, we actually built a feature in Favicon that allows you to curate an entire list of influencers and then do bulk DM outreaches. So it's not going to be as personalized, but this is really how you do scale up, especially as you become a more recognized brand. But if you're just getting started, here's how Zach found his first few creators in the beginning.
New TikTok account, and then I'll scroll through the For You page and only interact with videos that were in the health and fitness niche. That curates my For You page so that every video I see going forward is just in the health and fitness, and then TikTok will just feed me creators to DM.
Now, in terms of the deal itself, here was his target CPM RPM formula.
I safely like to start at a $5 CPM when testing out influencer marketing, or a $5 RPM.
And I want to point out that a $5 CPM is much higher than Lock's $1 or $1.50 CPM. And that means that CalAI can afford to spend more on advertising than Locked. And it therefore gives CalAI an advantage when reaching out to influencers because, well, they can just afford to pay them more. There's a saying that the brand who can spend the most on advertising wins. And it really is true. So as you're building your app, think about how you can increase the value of a customer, because that's going to allow you to spend more on advertising. So it might mean raising prices or reducing churns or even just pushing them to purchase an annual plan. In each contract, he also does the minimum view clause.
We do something sometimes called the minimum view clause where we say, okay, we'll pay you what you want, but you have to guarantee us this amount of views or you have to keep posting.
Now, as for the content itself, I found it interesting that the influencers would show the app, but they never once said the name in the video.
The influencers will typically do a what I eat in a day in the life video, and they'll show that they use CalAI, but they don't even say the name CalAI once in the video.
And finally, here's a tactic that nobody else mentioned.
We do plant our own comments, yeah, 100%. And that's a big part of the strategy, controlling the comment section. We reply to everyone. We have a comment already in every video pinned. We make sure that everyone knows it's our app.
Now, to scale the system, CalAI reportedly had 150 active influencers and 20 virtual assistants managing the entire operation. Now, of all of the apps here, CalAI made one of the boldest influencer marketing bets. They spent $500,000 to sponsor a behind-the-scenes MrBeast video.
Yeah, I still continue to track my food, and I've been using this app called CalAI.
Really?
Yeah.
You've been using the CalAI app. Wow, that's fascinating. CalAI is sponsoring this video, so I thought, why not bring out the founder?
Wait, this is the founder? What's up, man?
Why should they use CalAI to track their macros?
If you want the easiest way to lose weight, CalAI is the solution. All you have to do is take a picture of your food, and it will tell you the calories and the macros.
Do you want to help them out?
It's okay, I got it.
Okay. All right, Nash, can you show them how the app works?
Yeah, come on. All you gotta do is take a picture of your food, and it tracks your calories and macros instantly. CalAI makes losing or gaining weight super easy. All you gotta do is put in a little bit of info about yourself, and it'll create a plan just for you. And for those of you that are really extreme into tracking, CalAI has a really nice barcode system and food library for even better accuracy.
If you're not using CalAI, what are you doing? Just use code MrBeast when you scan this QR code on the founder's face or the link in the description. Download it right now. First 3 days are on me.
And it didn't go as planned, at least not immediately.
I'd say that the results of that right away definitely was a little bit unprofitable. But looking at the time overlap, looking at promo code usage, and a few other metrics that we use to determine this stuff, we probably made $350,000, maybe $400,000 just from that $500,000 promo.
So they lost money on the deal up front, but Zach still thinks that it was worth it.
I believe we were profitable long term, and if we're not yet, we're going to be, because having the brand name Mr. Beast, saying we were in a video, we were able to do way more deals afterwards. We had way more credibility with our brand, and so the profit from those deals it's enabled for us has exceeded the total amount.
So there are 2 lessons from the Mr. Beast deal. First, YouTube views compound over time in a way that TikTok and Instagram views do not, because with the YouTube algorithm, videos continue to be rediscovered. Secondly, and maybe most importantly, the credibility of being associated with Mr. Beast opened doors to other major influencer partnerships that otherwise would have been out of reach. So the deal wasn't just a sponsorship. It was kind of a signal to the rest of the creator world that CalAI is a brand worth working with. Now, organic influencer marketing took CalAI to $2 million a month, but then it plateaued. So that's when they decided to turn on paid ads.
A great thing about influencer marketing is that you have so many creatives to test.
So if Zach was building an app from scratch, here's exactly what he recommends.
Make the product, get it in the App Store, reach out to like 100 creators, get like 2 to make their first pieces of content, and then turn those 2 into like 20 influencers, where most of the cost is your time spent reaching out to them. Obviously you have to pay them, but it's kind of a little more laborious to get them to actually post. And then once you have a good archive of like 100 pieces of content and like 30 influencers posting for you, then cycle into paid ads with the money you've generated.
So whether you're just launching a new app or you're trying to scale your app, influencer marketing is a great way to make your brand seem more credible and legitimate, especially today when it's easy to instantly generate an app using AI tools. Influencer marketing makes you stand out as a more solid brand. And it can also make your paid advertising significantly more profitable because you understand what a 10x post looks like. And if you need a platform that streamlines the influencer marketing process, check out Favicon in the description below.